I think, participating in a very interesting panel. The topic is why invest in Greece. So Greece, and me being Greek, has had an amazing journey. When I started investing in Greece 5 years ago, it was more of a contrarian story. And I'm pleased to see that as a Greek, it's now turning into a growth story and a more of a mainstream investment destination. So we have invested in a number of sectors ourselves. And the strength of Greece is really its geopolitical position of the country and the natural beauty. So sectors like hospitality, for instance, or logistics are amongst the strongest sectors in Greece. And of course shipping, by controlling almost 18% of the global fleet. Just a tiny country at the southeastern tip of Europe. Well, our goals as an institutional investor is to make money and deliver our investors an attractive risk-adjusted return. I mean, that's what we're all about. But it's really more than that. I mean, if we can actually contribute into the investment destination where we deploy our capital, and it's not just about investing and pouring FDIs into a country, it's if we can also put our tiny bit in restructuring the country and supporting some of the reforms in the country so it becomes a more investor-friendly destination, adding into the local employment, upgrading the infrastructure of the country. That gives me also a bit of a sense of creating some value from the country that I actually come from and I was brought up in. So our strategy for the region, as I said, had two legs. One is to capture the trade flow because of the geopolitical position of the country, and the other one is the hospitality industry because the stock of the country is still quite dated. I think Greece has a lot of potential that still remains unrealized. The current government has taken the right steps, I think, in the right direction. There's still some way to go. What I would like to see, I would like Greece to become a much more mainstream investment destination, like the likes of the UK and Germany. I really see no reason why that shouldn't be the case. As I said before, the country has a long way to go. I think a couple of areas that still merit a lot of improvement are the judicial system of the country. There's been some recent reforms, but it's still painfully slow and inefficient sometimes. And the legal system itself, sometimes requires a lot of stakeholder management. There's a number of different authorities with conflicting rules and regulations that you have to overcome. But I think patience sometimes and persistence is the name of the game. So if you know how to navigate through the maze of bureaucracy, then you can have a good outcome. But it can definitely be better. At the end of the day, the US is the largest country by GDP. Traditionally, I think the links between the two countries has been very strong. The Greek-American community is quite strong, and it's good to see that in events like this, the two countries are coming closer and really accentuate the message that Greece is a place to do business. I myself work for a US, private equity fund, and our mandate is to invest throughout Europe, throughout the US, and the fact that we're investing quite a big chunk of our capital into that country leads to show that Greece is really getting upgraded in the investor universe across the globe. I would like to leave you the message that I do remain optimistic about the country. Despite everything that's happening with the energy crisis, the cost of living crisis, rising inflation, I think Greece is actually quite well positioned. And I'm glad to see that, when the rest of Europe was thriving, Greece was actually quite behind. And it's interesting to see now how the whole scenery is inversing, with Greece now actually being relatively well insulated by those exogenous shocks compared to other countries which are actually quite suffering right now.